Welcome to Honest Feedback, a podcast here for you. We are here offering advice on alternative perspectives for whatever is on your heart and mind.
I'm Lisset King, and I'm an emotional ninja. I help leaders release baggage and heal unresolved trauma so they can live and love their life of purpose.
I'm Goddess Brittney King, and I'm a pleasure priestess. I help women connect to their deepest truths, their sensuality, their sexuality, and hold the sacred union of both. Welcome back to Honest Feedback.
Yeah. Did you miss us? I know you did because we missed you.
Definitely. I am so excited to be back on the mic wearing my regalia.
Yeah.
This beautiful crown, because we are talking about our wedding.
Our dream wedding. That happened. Like we were inside of our dream.
Yeah. I mean, it's still unfolding.
Oh, yeah. No, we're still inside of our dream life that we jumped through the portal on our wedding day because we got married on Leap Day.
Yeah.
Again.
Yes. Again. And I'm, for those who are listening, here for it. Yes. Keep it going. And this might be an episode you actually want to watch. I haven't even edited it yet. And I'm excited. Looking forward to editing it because I'm going to add photos and I'm wearing a crown, a crown that I said I do, and lots of fun things. And for my editor girlies out there, my editor peoples, I don't know, maybe some of you are like, I'm inspired to edit, but that's not usually my case. I'm like, I get to edit. Great. But I'm so excited. Yeah. So we jumped through a portal on Leap Day.
Yeah.
February 29th. It only happens every 4 years. Mm-hmm. And so technically, this was our 1 year anniversary.
It was our 1 year anniversary. Yeah. It was so special. And we had a question because we have been on the social media posting all of our photos, and someone slipped in and asked the most beautiful question. And we're going to answer it.
Yes, we have decided to change the order of the episodes being released because I was like, someone wants to talk about the wedding? Yes, let's talk about it. Yes, right, it's the first episode back. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, let me get the little question. Alrighty. I am so inspired by your love and would be so grateful to hear more about each of your experiences through the initiation of marriage. How did you each approach the planning of the wedding itself, the integration afterward? For example, how'd you choose the venue, the guest list, agenda, etc.? And of course, what were some of your biggest insights and lessons throughout the experience? Love to you both. Thank you so much. Inspired in love.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right? Thanks, Inspired in Love. Thank you for sending us a DM. Here for it all. Well, okay, how do we even start? It's like, yes, the question that might be on many people's mind. Wait, is this their 1 year anniversary? Are they already married? Did they just get married?
Do they celebrate their anniversary between Leap Day? Mm-hmm. So many great questions. Yeah. And let's start with that. First of all, we eloped 4 years ago on Leap Day 2020. Yeah. And the wild thing about that is we were deciding how we wanted to have our wedding, which we were planning for June of 2020. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, you know what is a great day to plan a wedding? Leap Day. So we go, we get a beautiful suite that your friend hooked us up with.
Yeah, she did. Shout out Juliana.
And we're like, today's the day we're going to plan our wedding. You know what's a great idea? Mm-hmm. We should probably eat some mushrooms.
Yes.
Because mushrooms and wedding plannings do go together.
Perfectly.
If you didn't think so, now you know. You just heard here. And so we are on the mushrooms having a beautiful time. And Spirit likes to talk to me when I'm in that state. When like I'm out of the way, it goes, yo, psst. I think you should get married today. And I was like, you need to calm down, mushrooms, because that is a crazy talk right now. Mm-hmm. And it says, no, today's a portal and you must jump through it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, Brittney, so Spirit, the voice just told me that we should get married today. And she looks at me, she goes, I'd marry you today. And so we called up our bestie Allie Spitali, and she got in her car. No, she was filming a movie, and she's like, "Yo, as soon as I'm done with this, I'll get ordained. Be right over."
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So she comes over our house, and it was the most beautiful ceremony, because one of the places we were having conflict in wedding planning back then was the people we wanted there. There were people that I felt I was close to, that Brittney was having some conflict with, and vice versa. We're like, oh, should we invite that person? And through that download, the most important thing to us back then, and it still is today, was that we were witnessed by the people that can hold the frequency and vibration of our love.
Yeah.
We wanted them to be the kind of people that could see us now and see our future. And so when Allie came over, married us on our balcony at 8:11 p.m.
Yeah.
Because it was the whole lot of numerology that day. It was an 8 and it was an 11 because it's a master number. And she not only just held the space for us to say the most beautiful vows. It's not on video. There's one photo. And she also said her own vows.
Yeah, to us.
To us.
We were all crying.
We were all crying. And like it was the part that stuck out to me was, I promise to always remind you of how much you love each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allie. So that was our first wedding.
Yes.
And then when did we decide we were going to do it again?
Well, okay, so that was our first wedding. Then there was a time when we were like, the pandy was happening, and we were thinking about going abroad, and I was like, well, I want something legally on paper, because if we're gonna be in a different country and like not everybody's cool with everybody being gay everywhere you go, I mean, that could be this country too, but still, I was like, let's get it on paper. So we had like a courthouse wedding in June, or another friend was our witness, and then we had talked about somewhere early on, we're like, this portal only happens every 4 years. Like, what if we have weddings? Like, what if we get married everywhere that we want, like every 4 years?
Yes.
So like that was kind of like a seed that had been planted early on.
And your girl over here is hella smart, because I was like, wait a second, if our anniversary is only once every 4 years, it'll take us 28 years to have the 7-year itch. I'm a genius.
You are a genius.
And it really does only feel like we've been married a year.
I know.
Like time has slowed down, and our
know.
love has expanded, and it really, I have a just married sticker on the back of my truck. It's still valid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like we have all of the both. It's like time expands and it moves quicker, and like we have lesbian years, we have it all. So so like the seed had been planted, and there was nothing we were formally doing to like prepare for this wedding. Yeah. Like years went by, and it's like, we only told friends like, we're gonna have a wedding.
A lot of people saved the date like years ago.
We're like, we're gonna have the wedding, and then it's like 1 year before, and it's like,
we should do something.
Are we gonna have this wedding? And we got to have this moment where it was like a choose in or choose out, because like, quite frankly, like we hadn't prepared for it, besides saying like, we should have a wedding.
And I'd love to add to that. We were living our lives.
Yeah.
We were, traveling, doing seminars, spending, and earning. Like our businesses grew. Those first 4 years were such a portal and fertile ground for our growth. Yeah. Like we are business owners now. We weren't back then. There's just so much that we've grown into. And when we decided like, oh shit, our wedding is next year, we had this wild idea to like, we are not doing anything.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to do anything
We're not going to do anything. We're going to eat at home every day. We might go out like once a month. Yeah, and we're just going to save. We did that for January, and we were like, fuck this noise.
Miserable.
We were miserable. We're like, okay, change of plan. We're going to do the opposite.
We're going to do everything we want. Yeah, because it was such a like, we had to have that conversation though, like, are we actually going to have this wedding? And I was very much from this place of like, I love that we eloped. It was perfect. We got to have our naked, very witchy wedding. Like, oh, this is so perfect. And it was like, we got married for like $300. And like, it was so beautiful.
I liked it.
I liked it. I liked it. I loved it. And I'm a both kind of lady. I'm a both kind of bitch. I was like, I also want pomp and circumstance. I also want a big deal situation.
I want to be witnessed.
Yeah, and wanting to be witnessed and like have the experience of creating that level of ritual. And
yeah, so we decided like, let's do this thing. And last year was just spectacular as far as sacred invitations go. And I have this policy with Spirit, like when I hear an invitation, I accept it. And, you know, I got invited to Peru and I was like, babe, Peru. And she goes, go. So I'm like, okay. So I said yes to Peru. There's this retreat through my mentor that I've been wanting to do that only happens once a year. I was like, babe, I want to do this. She goes, do it. And then we got the invitation to Egypt. And we were both like, yeah, we got to do this. And then just time after time, moment after moment, there were opportunities for us to step into who we were becoming. Like the greatest ROI I've ever gotten on my investments is when I invest in myself. And so we leaned into that while going, okay, we're trust falling with money, and we're gonna know that the money is going to handle, like for the wedding is going to handle itself. And I've also got to be honest, like I was definitely kicking the can down the road as like saying yes to a lot of other things. I wasn't sure when the wedding was going to actually, like, I mean, we knew when we were going to have it, but when we were actually going to start planning it, you know, because Brittney really wanted it. And I was like, we're already married. So, like, my intention was not fully behind it.
When was there a shift for you?
When was there a shift for me? I would say that magical day in Victoria's pool.
Ooh!
Yeah.
That's how we found our venue.
This is how we found our venue. Because in my head, this is, you know, I grew up very frugal and like, you know, we don't spend our money frivolously and all these things. So, and from the beginning, wedding just felt like, this is a frivolous expense. Why would we do this? And so we were hanging out with my friend Victoria and we're in her pool, and you had just gotten back from a bachelorette party.
Yes, I had just gone to my friend's bachelorette, and she was sharing about not fully understanding the fine print of a contract. Long story short, her and her partner were way deeper into their pockets than they had intended to be. And it was at great expense. And it was like, we were not in debt and everything was paid off to now every paycheck we get is going to this wedding. And like, we're very, very stressed. And like, we're happy, but we're stressed. And I was just like, that is not the vibe. Because at the time we were thinking about going to Costa Rica for our wedding.
That stressed me out so much.
Yeah, it was like, let's have it in Costa Rica. I was like finding wedding planners in Costa Rica. And then I was just like, yeah, she's doing it in the country. And she's talking about this level of stress and this amount of money. And I was just like, yeah, no, that's not how I want to feel about the experience. So then I'm telling Victoria, we're in her pool. And she was like, I got married for like $10,000.
And we literally, like the record scratch, we were like, what? I was at that wedding and it was fucking gorgeous. Like,
it was a Twilight themed wedding.
It was a Twilight themed wedding.
Yeah.
It was stunning. Just the location, the food, the booze, everything was just divine. And it was so fun. And I was like, all of a sudden, ding, ding, like cha-ching, that number makes sense to me. And then I got on board.
Yeah. Well, then I was just like, she was telling me, and I'm like asking questions because I'm thorough. I'm like, well, like, did it include this? Like, what did it include? And she's like, and it also comes with a wedding planner. I'm like, what? I was like a day of coordinator. She's like, no, this woman planned and like did the whole thing. And I was just like, what? Where is it? She was like, the food is so great and blah, blah. And I was like, and Lisette's like, I want a steak. And I was like, do they have steak there? Can we go there for dinner? And as soon as we walked up to the venue, it was in Topanga, California. So Topanga is like the woods of LA.
Inn of the Seventh Ray.
Yeah, Inn of the
Shout
Seventh
out.
Ray. And so we get there, and on site, there's like a magic bookstore. And there was a deck of cards that I had been looking for years. The Four Agreements, that book, it exists in a deck of cards, and I had seen it at someone's bathroom like years ago, and I could not find it on Amazon. Like, I couldn't find it. It was out of print. I don't know. But it was at this bookstore, and I was like, oh, it was like Dr. Joe, the Four Agreements, other spells. And I was just like, and crystals and thing. And I was like, oh my God. And then we walked in, and it was beautiful. The food was so
the
amazing.
food is so good.
High vibration, farm to table. They could tell you where the cow, like they make their own gluten-free bread. It was just beautiful and amazing. And I just felt it. I was like, this is the place. This is the place. And then you felt it too.
Oh, yeah. I was like, absolutely. Like just, I was all in. And, just to circle back, like from the moment we got married, our intentions have always been to step into something greater than we can even see.
Yeah.
And from that moment, we were like, well, first of all, the universe, she's an excellent wedding planner.
Excellent.
Because she delivered the venue to us in that moment, in a price that we like. We love paying the price that we like.
Yep.
And it just felt so like in that moment, I was like, oh, we're going to lean in hard. We're going to lean into what is provided for us. Like I stopped planning and trying to think it and more listened.
Yeah.
Plus Brittney's a hell of a producer and a planner.
So once we were both like fully on board, that's really important. Everybody has to be like fully on board for these co-creations, because otherwise it's an uphill battle. It's like having your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. It's hard to create. It's hard to manifest unless everybody's fully in alignment. So once we both got fully in alignment, we met the wedding planner. She was Amanda. You're a real one.
She's a real one.
Love you forever.
Love
like she showed
her.
up so authentic. So like
we made a friend.
Yes.
Like
we
she's
made
in
a
our
friend.
lives now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But once we got 100% behind, like, okay, there's a vision that we're creating that's bigger than ourselves. What's our intention? Like, but why have this wedding? Aside from like, I want pomps, besides I want like grandeur. So do you want to start with why your why was, or do you want me to start with why?
You start with why.
Okay. So the why that I wanted was to be witnessed in celebration of our love. I wanted our community. We have so much amazing community, so many beautiful souls in our life who have given to us, who have mentored us, who have been shining examples of love and like overcoming and just supported us wildly. Having a love that is so powerful and potent and people can feel it, and like to have a community that supports us allows us to be big and splashy with our love. Like you don't know how many of my friends have heard me have orgasms like everywhere. And people are like, yes, queen. Like, dude, like that's not everybody's friend group, to have people who are like, I'm behind you being in the fullness in your expression of love. Like I wanted those people to witness us making these vows to each other, like before families, before God, before like, I wanted that ceremony. I love sacred ceremony. And I feel like something that sometimes gets lost in the whole like bride magazine version of weddings is like, it is a sacred ceremony. And like being the witchy people that we are, I was here for feeling the energy of what this ceremony would create for us, for everyone who got to witness.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. For me, like the intention and my why behind the wedding was we had come so far. Like we had come so far in our lives, like who we were when we jumped through the first leap day portal to who we were coming up on. We've changed. Our glow up has been just outstanding.
Check the crowd.
Check the skin, check the hair. Yeah. So it was about being witness of how far we've come. And if I could speak into the guest list.
Yeah.
So that was so important to me in the first wedding, and it was so important in the second, was that we brought the frequency of those that saw us as we were, saw our growth, loved it, wanted to be and spread in our expansion. Like so many people came up to us at the wedding and they were like, there's so many amazing people here. And I'm like, yeah, you're one of them.
You're one of the amazing people.
You're one of them. Like it was very curated. The invitations were, no one was grandfathered into an invitation.
Yeah.
It wasn't about
Yes. And that's something that was like, when I was talking with other people who have been going through this process or have gone through this process, they're like, oh, there's people on your guest list, like you have to invite. And I was just like, I don't believe that's true. And I remember working on BuzzFeed, at BuzzFeed, and I was on set with this one girl, and she was sharing about her wedding, and she was like, you know, where you're just like, something hits you, and she was like, there were people who were at my wedding that I didn't really want to invite, and I really wished I hadn't invited them. And like, it hit me of like, noted, don't do the gimme invite. Like, don't do the like, oh, well, I blah, 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 whatever the reason that you think you should. Like, we got really intentional, and we had some difficult conversations with people who were there like, can my so-and-so come? Yeah. That's going to be a no.
Yeah.
It's going to be a no.
Love you. Don't know that person. And I'll give it up. One of my friends years ago, I thought I was a give me invite to his wedding. And I was like, oh, congratulations. When's the wedding? So I could plan for it. He was like, ooh, so we have a policy that if we both haven't met the person and feel like they belong there, that they should not come. And it was like, I got to tell you, I was hurt, but I was like, I got to respect that. I so respect that, like, that is your boundary and that's your hard no. Yeah. And I held that frequency. We held that frequency.
And it was gosh, it was such a powerful boundary to hold, both internal and out. Yeah. Because everyone who stepped in and accepted their sacred invitation, like, people were so honored to be invited because it was intimate and it was curated. And so it was like, people were honored to be invited and to be a part of it. And we got to set that space of like, this is what we are creating and this is the vision that we are holding. And we also did something that we call a pule, which is a prayer that we've learned to do, where it was like, what is the energetic vibration that we are holding for our ceremony? And we did all the baggage work about all the things. Like, my mom has passed. She was not physically there. Like, that was a hurt point.
My father had passed. He wouldn't be able to walk me down the aisle. There were so many things that we didn't realize were wounds that we had to let go of and we had to release. So we did the pule, we did the release work necessary to set the intention to see the end result of what it was going to look like. Not every fine detail, but the feelingization of how we wanted to feel at the end of that. And that was soul work. Like, holding that prayer of this is what it's going to be there. There were people that didn't come like last minute. And I was like, they don't belong there. With love and light, like with love and light. I was like, okay, well, they're not part of the pule. The pule is strong. We trust the pule. We trust the prayer. Whoever's not there is not supposed to be there.
And holding that intention of whoever is supposed to be in the space will be in the space. And some of these were challenging to be with. Oh, yeah.
My mom got sick a week before she was in the hospital. And she had, I was going out of my way to make my mom come. Like, my sister had booked first class flights. Like, we were going to, it's hard for her to travel. She's much older now. And when she got sick and it was just like, she can't come, I was a mess. I was so devastated. I'm like, my mom's alive, but she won't be there. And it was, and then also I was just like, trust the pule, trust the prayer. Like, this is just, it's what's going to be best. Like, the type of seizure that she had that happened at the wedding it'd be devastating, you know, and on the plane, she's getting very frail. Like, you know, I'm sending her love and light. I called all my prayer warriors to support her, and her recovery was miraculous. But I had to let that go.
And so letting go, surrendering to what you think it's supposed to look like, to make space for what is the vision that is bigger than what we could see in that moment, and being willing to do that soul work. So some of you might know this. My family relationship is complex and complicated, and I have 2 siblings. And one of those siblings, we aren't in a place where we are actively communicating and speaking. And so I talked to my other sibling and shared with them, being like, hey, this is what's happening. I am hosting a wedding. I really want you to be there if that's something that you want to do. And understanding that me and this other sibling aren't in the best place, and so they are not going to be given an invitation. Like, are you okay with this? Would you still want to come? Like sitting in the discomfort of like other people be like, no, you should just invite someone. No, you should just do this.
Yeah.
No, it's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, the energy, the intention for something is everything. And so like holding this vibration and the intention of what is the vibration that we are bringing into this next phase of our life, and like what is the vibration that we are holding, and like who we ask to marry us.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, it was trusting who was stepping through, and like we were like, who should marry us? And we had a couple thought, but this person was just like, no, this is the person. And then we're like, well, what about this person? And like Spirit's like, no, it's this person. And so Goddess Lynn Moore, who I call her my first wife. This woman, she is like spiritually, universally, we are so like, the love is so strong and so deep. She is and forever will be my first wife.
Yes.
We call her husband our husband.
Yes.
Because
She's our wife.
because we're in this together, and it just felt right to ask her. And
Y'all,
she
I mean,
delivered.
she is a high priestess, and I mean, she has so many talents. She will also be facilitating ritual at Full Body. Yes, she will.
Yes.
But the portal she opened for our wedding, the channeling, it was so deep and intentional and spiritual and intergalactic. Like she got everyone involved in calling in the directions in a way that so many people in my life who are not spiritual in the way that I am spiritual were like, it was so moving, and I felt so included, and like, this isn't my practice, but I felt like I felt the energy. I felt God in my way, and I got to participate, and I was so excited, and it was next level.
She delivered. Melanie Muszette delivered.
Yes.
We had decided early on, we're witches, so we need to walk down the aisle to I Put a Spell on You.
Yes.
But we were attached to the Alice Smith version.
Yes, we used to dance like to that version at the pole studio.
Yeah, so Britt and I met pole dancing. That's coming next. But the person with the most angelic voice I know is Melanie Taylor and Muszette. Look her up, guys.
Yes.
And she can just fucking hit these notes, and we're like, when we asked her and we asked Lynn's husband Lucas, our husband Lucas, to play guitar because he's just insane on the guitar. The delivery, people were already bawling.
Yeah.
I was the first one to walk around the aisle.
Yeah, we did it. We got married in a circle. Attention.
We got married in a circle. There were a few things that were very important to us, and getting married in a circle. We walked around the circle because it like opens the portal, and literally I'm walking by and people are already bawling over this song.
It's so good. There was so much inspired guidance. I feel like that was another pillar on our path. It was like after intention, like we set the intention and then we listened.
Yes.
We listened, and it was just like, who's supposed to marry us? Like who should like who can deliver this? Like y'all, let's just even pause. Maybe I'll add a little moment of the Muszette singing, okay?
I put a spell on you, 'cause you're mine. I love you, and I don't care if you want me, 'cause I'm yours right now. I put a spell on you because you're Put a spell on you. Put a spell on you.
I mean,
Right?
Like it's like who, like it's chills.
It's so good. I am Chelsea.
Oh my
Oh my God.
gosh.
So Chelsea Abril, Chelsea Abril Photo, follow her on Instagram. She has been my dream photographer from I knew her back when she used to sleep on couches and was not the fucking badass boss bitch that she is now with a bajillion followers and everything. And she is also my dream photographer, my favorite photographer. Everyone started following her immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, so you're my friend and we want you at the wedding, but I also, do you know a photographer as good as you? And she just goes, no, but I will do double duty. I will film you getting ready. I'll film up until a certain point, and then I'm going to turn into guest. And she shot a boudoir getting ready shoot that brought us to tears.
Oh, and made people very excited.
And made people very excited. She's just a queen. She's a master of that craft.
Yeah.
Like when I tell you I've been fangirling her forever. I've been through many other partners that I thought I might marry, and I was like, Chelsea's a photographer. I don't care. So in this moment, it was a surrender to say, do you know someone else? And for her to go, no.
I've never seen wedding photography like ours. We told her, I was like, I want editorial, sexy. We can hang it in our house. It could also be the cover of Vogue. And also, they happen to be getting married, and girl, did she deliver. I've never seen wedding photography like this. Like, people are like, this was your wedding? Like, we're like, yeah.
Also, because she's a homie, we literally got like 40 shots the next day. Like, she was like, oh, by the way, here you go. We're just like, people usually have to wait months for this.
Yes.
And she's a real one.
Such a
Cannot
real
recommend
one.
her enough.
It was just such a beautiful initiation to getting out of the way of what you think you know and trusting. Like, we both would get intuitive hits of like, this is the person. This is the person. I got an intuitive hit in Egypt. So we were literally in the goddess temple, and I've had my whole journey about healing with the masculine, and in this spaces, there's a Merkaba. You should ask your friend Tomas to marry you as well and be held by the masculine and the feminine. And it was like just download in my head in the temple. I went right over it in the temple and asked Thomas, like, I told baby, I was like, baby, this is what I heard. She was like, yes. And I asked Thomas, and he
just started crying.
He said,
and
me?
then we started crying. It was
Yes.
such a beautiful thing.
It was so beautiful, but we followed the inspired guidance, and like, so he led us in a private ritual. Like, there was, y'all, it was a whole week of rituals. Like, every day there was a ritual and a ceremony that was a part of this wedding vortex that we stepped into. And so on the 28th, Thomas held a private ceremony with us, and it was next level. It was so, it was just so beautiful and so powerful and such a gift to our family. And it was, and he is a brother in the energy work that we have learned from Hawaii. And so to feel that connection to our lineage. And then Lynn and her divine channeling her. All the codes were coming through from Egypt. It really felt like we were being like this braid of our lineages of Hawaiian and Egyptian coming together, all circling in the Merkaba that we were standing on the stage. Like, it was just like, I didn't think, oh, like, we should get married in a Merkaba. I just always had a vision of it's a circle.
Yes.
It's a circle. And I even surrendered that. Like, I had flowers and things arrive to the wedding planner, and I was just like, I didn't micromanage. This is hard for me. This had been previously hard for me. Of like, I would have been like, you put this there and you do this and you do this there. And I was just like, hey, what if you just don't and trust that someone can carry on the vision?
I have to share on this.
Yeah, and just and let it happen.
Yeah.
And then when we walked in, and I was just like, oh my God, this is what she did with the stuff.
It was so beautiful. I just want to talk about the micromanaging really quickly. That was so funny. We had asked Lynn to be our officiant.
Yeah.
And then about an hour later, I see Brittney online about how to officiate a wedding. And I said, did we not just ask her to do it? What, you need to trust, this is not your job. Put it down. And she was like, okay.
I know, it sneaks in there. The producer sneaks in there. But like these initiations, like the initiation of like
Trust.
Trust.
It was the initiation. It was the ultimate, for me, the ultimate initiation of trust.
Trust. Surrender. Trusting that we're held. Like, these are the initiations. Trusting that the playa provides. So
Yeah.
the playa provides is sort of like a cheat code that we have encoded into our lives, that it's just trust that you will always be held and provided for.
Yeah.
Because
That
we always have.
everywhere you go, what you need will be there.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, what you need will be there. And that is very much how we live our lives. Me a little more than her sometimes, but she's stepping into it.
I'm stepping. There was so many things. It was also like this. It's a both and, like, trusting everything will be where, and also I know what's a vibrational match that will have the things that I want. So it was in my vision of part of the wedding experience would be getting a fucking sick ass, dope ass, photograph worthy Airbnb where we can get ready, where we could have fun, where we could have some honeymoon vibes. All of that was a part for me of the wedding. And so I would literally just hover my energy over to Panga, being like, show me what place is our place. Like, you know, the vibe, like high end. The kitchen has things. There's a beautiful outdoor space. Hot tub is necessary. Without chemicals, even better. Fire pits. Bathtubs. These are the things, like, these are the
balconies.
Balconies, views,
fire pits.
Like, these were all the things where I was like, I know what I'm looking for. And when I saw the house, she called to me and I was like, it's gorgeous. And it's owned by these beautiful humans. I think they're like down to the smallest detail. They had thought of things. And I was like, these are my people. They will have the things I need. Did they have a Vitamix in their house? Yes, they did. Like, did they have casserole dish? Yes, they did. Like, they had the things that usually I'm like, I have to micromanage and bring this because someone else doesn't curate a space the way I do. But I caught the vibe. I found the vibe. I energetically put my energy over that house until we had received the funds to prosper these other people.
Yes.
Like, you know, it was some dancing with surrendering of like,
And trust.
and trust of like, you know, I found the house. And in that moment I was like, oh, my bank account is not able to say yes to this in this moment.
Yeah.
Can I trust if this house is mine, it's supposed to be mine and it will be mine. And if for some reason it hadn't been mine, it was because something better was coming on its way. Like,
this or something better.
this or something better.
I would love to talk about one more thing.
Yeah.
Would that be all right?
Yes.
So a lot of you know this already, but Brittney and I met pole dancing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was just important to us, I can't remember who thought of it. I want to say it was me. But it was like, I wanted something that was going to be so wow. Like a major wow factor. And I was like, what if our first dance was a pole dance? Yeah. And she goes, I know the choreographer.
Yep.
Done. Like, bet. It's just like one of the things I love about my partner is she's just so down. She's so down. Like, she's always down for the magic and everything. And we had the most incredible blood, sweat, and tears for 4 months. practicing and owning it. And, I had hurt my ribs for like 3 weeks. And I was like, is this permanent? Like there was just so many things that we met and we just kept overcoming. And like there were days we didn't want to practice. I was like, we must lean into this. This is for our love. We're going to show our love. And it was
magical. First of all, we met pole dancing. So there's just the shared love of communicating with our bodies that is already like in there. Now we have a structure in which we get to play and practice and be in that energy. I remember just feeling so close to you, like so in love with our quality time of getting to dance together. Like it didn't feel like, oh, we have to learn to dance. It was like, oh my God, we're doing the coolest thing ever. We get to learn to dance. And like, I get to pole dance with my baby. Like this was my first time doing spin, doubles, pole. Like we learned a whole new pole language in order to be on this pole together. And like, it was just, wow. Like talk about an initiation.
That was initiation. That
yes.
was gorgeous.
So gorgeous. And just like to walk through the crowd and beautiful silk Balinese robes with like the lights flashing and the colors and the dramatic music. It was so good. So good.
People, well, Melanie, who sang the song, came up to me and she was just bawling. Like, I just watching tears stream down her face of like, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And other people just coming up to us with tears in their eyes, like just so moved by that representation of our love. Yeah. Because that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was our love. Spin it.
Sorry. Plus, last thing. I want to circle back on the last thing.
Okay.
The most important thing for an epic wedding.
Yeah.
Partner selection.
Yeah.
Take this note, listen to this, put it in deep in your psyche. If you're planning a wedding, going to marry someone, you cannot have the best day of your life if you have not chosen the right person.
For you.
For you. The best person for you. Brittney is my person. And I am hers. We were made for each other.
Yeah.
And couture. And may you select the best, absolute best person for you. Our life mission is to have people stop settling.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Everything. Our retreats. My work is, my tagline is limitless possibilities because I do not believe in settling. And that, more than anything, we could have gotten married on a balcony in robes, which we have. Yeah. That anything else could have happened that day and it still would have been the best day of my life. It just happened to be the actual best day of my life with all the beauty, and it delivered, and it was beyond anything I could have dreamed of. Thank you. Thank you for marrying me.
Of course, baby. I'll air kiss you because my lips.
I don't care.
Oh, yay! Sometimes these lips move. Before I close this out, were there any spaces where you're like, this is a growth? This was a stretch?
I would say the biggest lean in for me was the financial stretching. Over the last year, we said yes to so many things without necessarily our bank accounts backing it up.
In the moment.
In the moment.
In the universe's bank account.
Yeah, the universe bank account came through. Like we're both really great at what we do and we're getting better by the day. And there were months that were lean and we're like, I don't know how we are going to pay for Egypt, but we're going.
Yeah, but we're going.
I don't know how we're going to get the second payment on the Airbnb. Right now, my bank account does not reflect that. And every single time that we said yes, and it was a full body yes, the universe said, here you go. How big do you need that check? And she would just write it, and we got everything we need. And the portal we jumped through on that day was, we are so held. We're so provided for. Babies, don't worry. Sugar Daddy Universe has got you. Yeah. And I just feel so blessed to have learned, finally gotten that lesson and come to the other side of it.
Yes. Yeah.
How about you?
The same. It was something that I feel so deeply in my work, in what I teach, and to find this new depth with it of say yes to everything. That's a full body yes for you. And it wasn't like we just said yes to any old thing. It was just like, this is a full body yes. This dessert from this person is a full body yes. Those specific flowers are a full body yes. This human is my full body yes. Like that. So like leaning into the full body yes and knowing that we are provided for, feeling that we are provided for, like that wedding, in my wildest dreams, in my Pinterest board, like it blows my Pinterest board out of the water.
Yeah.
Out of the water.
We're going to be on other people's Pinterest boards.
I know. And
I
it
know
was just like, I wanted a whole week of ceremony. And then I got it and didn't even have to plan it. Like every day we sat in ceremony with someone who facilitated holding sacred space for us to connect with each other and share and celebrate our love. Like that's incredible. Best week ever. And it was like, we had our beautiful jump through the portal day. And the next day was also the best day ever. And the day after that was still the best day ever.
Yeah,
and it just kept getting
it just kept getting bigger and better. Yeah.
Yeah, it just kept getting better. So it was like saying yes to what I desire lets my life just keep getting better. It just keeps getting better and it just keeps getting better. And
The better it gets, the better it gets.
Yes, it blossoms and it grows
Abraham
and
Hicks.
the colors and it's just, it's everything. And so thank you for the best day ever.
Thank you for the best
I love
day
you
ever.
so much.
Yes.
So much. Oh, before I close this out, I just want to like anchor in the experience that we got to be in, that we got to play in, that we got to step into. And I want to extend a sacred invitation to any woman who is out there listening to this and is desiring to connect to her full body yes. And look at how magical life can be. Life is. Welcome it in. Lisette and I, along with Lynn and our dear sister Brianna, are hosting a retreat in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It starts on April 8th in the eclipse portal, transformation energy. And we are deep diving into pleasure, into what is your deepest yes, where is your truth. And it is an opportunity to be reborn in sacred water on healing land. And so there are only 4 spots left. So if you
Probably
were
less.
yeah, probably less.
Probably less. By the time this comes out, there will only be 2 spots left. So if you are even hearing, I need to know about that, just get on our calendar.
Get on our calendar. The link is in the show notes, and we cannot wait to hold space for you and allow you to see all the truth and beauty that is you. So,
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for episode 1 of season 3. Woo! If you like what you heard, like, share,
subscribe,
all the things. If you have a question, give us a call at
971-895-4111.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And,
or you can send us a DM on IG like this fine person. Yes.
Yeah. And until we meet again, be honest with each other.
Bye.
Bye.